said recording and everybody.
We don't have to say anything.
It's unmuted, right? Yeah. Now you can hit your home button and go back to Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Kim.
Excellent.
Kim. Well, wait, can I just see the motion with regards to item number 4 in the agenda? I don't know what the motion number is, but
No, item number
this
4.
one.
thank you. Thank you very much. Challenge the mayor to try and beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Those always wanna.
They won't always be like that for planning advisory, but it was just one of those in between, nothing was ready,
Yeah.
like for real action or preparation yet, so. 11 minutes. The planning advisory meeting is 11 minutes.
Maybe somebody should show them.
I think it has to do with the efficiency of the chair. I'm just saying. Wait a minute.
How did this come back on me?
Few seconds left. 6:59. I'll let you know when it's
Is
7.
it 7 now? No.
Almost. We're in the last minute.
Well, I see your watch. I'll watch that.
Oh, yeah, it's. We go with Apple time.
Apple time.
Yeah.
Is that like hammer time?
I think that's good. Where's that? That's just on the screen.
That's Worcester, BC.
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
There you
7
go.
o'clock.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7 p.m. Moved by Councillor Corbett, second by Councillor Clark, that this meeting be opened at 7 p.m. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that Kim Turnbull be appointed as the recording clerk for the purpose of this meeting. All in favor? Carried. And before we move into the meeting, I just want to introduce our new CAO, Nicole Kunkel, and she'll be working with us for a long time. 4 years. And then the other, I just wanted to acknowledge that we had the Easter egg hunt on Saturday, and we had volunteers, Rainey Contant, Lisa Lard, Emma Brown, Linda Bishop, and Isabella Brisson. And Emma also donated eggs to our Easter hunt. And the Township of Bonneville donated, as well as the Case Populaire. It was also organized by the Recreation Committee, who is our chair is Councillor Featherstone, and the vice chair is Councillor Dan McGuinness. And I'd like to give them a huge thank you for it was a huge success. I didn't go out, unfortunately, but I did read on Facebook that everybody had a good time.
That's great.
Okay, so we need next adoption of the minutes. Moved by Councillor Corbett, seconded by Councillor Clark, that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held March the 28th, 2023 be adopted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. And number 3, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Anyone declaring an interest? I will have to declare an interest in this presentation due to a conflict with my employer. And that's all I have to sign it. Yeah. And I will vacate the chair and our deputy mayor will be taking over.
Great. So we will move into item number 4, which is presentations and delegations. And we have Mr. Goodrich here and Mr. Kazi and Mrs. Kazi regarding George's Road. So you have a presentation you'd like to make? You'd like to come to the podium and make the presentation.
Thank you very much. So as stated, I'm here on behalf of Amy and Salma Kazi, and the Kazis have purchased this land outlined in yellow. This is Pine Lake Road. I hope everyone can see it. I know it's a little tough for you guys on that side, but Pine Lake Road is this road going up through Pine Lake and beyond. George's Road currently comes in off Pine Lake Road, and there's a turn circle right about here. This is the end of the municipal maintenance of the road. However, the original George's Road was more of a crescent, and it ran through this area and joined back up with Pine Lake Road further to the north. Now, I believe you probably all received part of the package that we sent in, or all of the package that we sent in, showing that this road has been noted for some time on the historical documents dating back to 1936. And the 1936 plan, which I believe used to be here on the wall for many years, also showed the original homesteads that were on the land at that point in time, notably the Campo and the Foreman farms that were located in this area. The road was used for access to their dwellings and also for the in and out for the farm vehicles, and existed that way for many, many years, right up until the 1960s, possibly into the 70s. But I know we had one old timer in the municipality who would confirm that that they remember traveling by vehicle on the road in the 1960s. So why we're here tonight, it's become a bit of a contentious issue between the neighbors. James Holmes, the neighbor to the east and the south, owns the lands here in blue, and Don and Beth Scott own the lands circled in green. Now, part of the package that we sent in was a memorandum of understanding for a proposed solution to the situation. And we're here tonight to seek your support and your assistance in being able to bring everyone together to see if we can work out an arrangement. The memorandum that was submitted is what we feel is a good starting point. We're open to any suggestions from any of the parties. We're here to try to work together with them. But we're seeking your assistance in being able to bring the people together. And in order to have a neutral third-party site, we'd also like the use of either the boardroom or the council chambers where we can meet at a time that's, not being used by the municipality. So just to give you a quick outline too of the proposal, the Kazis are going to support the closing of the road through the area. Right now, there's never been a road closing bylaw passed, so it has the status of a forced or a trespass road, they're known as. As you can see, we've drawn on the road allowances that are in the area, but due to the terrain and the lakes and the swamps and whatever, it just isn't possible to build the roads on the road allowances in all cases. And that's why these roads take the meandering path that they do, following the path of least resistance and where it was easiest to construct them. Coming off Pine Lake Road on this road allowance, there is a bit of swamp in this area and then a steep hill. But what we're proposing is that in exchange for the property here, Mr. Hone also owns this section of, it's essentially a driveway which provides access to these lands. Originally was set up as a right-of-way when they severed this piece out of the corner. And this property owner has the right-of-way to travel over this land. I believe his brother is the owner, or perhaps both of them are part owners in this property. And as long as it's the brothers, it's fine. But this property does not have legal access or a registered right-of-way over that portion, only the neighbor to the east. So what we're looking to do is, if Mr. Hone was willing, transfer this section of the right-of-way to the Kazis. This would eventually provide them with access out to the turn circle on the public road. The municipal and Kazis would grant a registered right-of-way to the neighbor, guaranteeing them access also. This right-of-way is already registered on title. It just runs with the land. No matter who owns it, it goes with the land. The municipal road allowance through this section, which I've got colored orange, is still open. It's never been closed. I've walked this with Salmon, and it is suitable to be able to build a driveway down that location. So what we would like the municipality to do is eventually, if all of this comes together, close and transfer this section of the road allowance to the Kazis as well, which then guarantees them access all the way out to a publicly maintained road. Scott's contribution towards this would be to assist with the building of the driveway. And I know I'm not expecting Don and Beth Scott to be out there with a shovel and rake, but if they can contribute financially towards the cost of opening up the driveway in this location, that would be their contribution. So, and the Kazis are also willing to contribute towards that and will not oppose any closure of the roads through the neighboring properties as long as they have guaranteed access. Without that guaranteed access, though, right now they're relying upon the old municipally maintained or formerly municipal road through the property for their sole means of access. And I think it's a good proposal where everybody contributes, but also everybody benefits from the proposal. Now, this road will still have to be surveyed in order to have it closed and transferred. Each of the owners are, well within their rights to hire whoever they want. If one surveyor does it all, it's probably a little bit cheaper for everybody. But and honestly, we really don't care who is chosen to do the survey work. We'll support whoever comes in here. Kazis will definitely close the section through their own roads, through their own lands, sorry. So that if either of these sides don't wish it closed, basically it'll be and they don't want to go to that expense. The road will still exist legally, but of course it'll go nowhere. Once the road here is closed, That means that, any member of the public could travel down this road, but they can't get anywhere from it. So the likelihood of that happening is pretty slim. So really what we're asking is if the municipality can contact each of the property owners, see if we can arrange a time when we can all get together. If either Nikki or Sabrina or both could also, and Ann, sorry too, you're the roads person here, if they could attend the meeting with each of the property owners and see if we can't work out a mutually agreed upon solution to it. And like I say, we're open to any offers, any suggestions. And if you have any comments or questions, I'd be more than happy to try to answer them.
Comments or questions at this point? I'll just say thanks for the context. I appreciate the presentation. Appreciate your willingness to work together and hopefully finding some resolution to this. I believe we have a motion coming before us, which will refer it back to staff because we would like a bit more information from the municipal perspective before we can figure out how to wade into it. But I think that's where, if council agrees, that's what the motions can be. Right. So it's moved by Councillor McGuinness, seconded by Councillor Featherstone, that whereas council receives the presentation and corresponding documents from Paul Goodrich, Amy Kazi and Solomon Kazi regarding George's Road proposal, and further that council refers the matter to staff to provide a report. Questions or comments on the resolution? Seeing none, all in favor? Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate your
Thanks
time.
very much, everyone. Hopefully we can get this resolved.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
We didn't do any extra work for you.
Yeah.
That's not what we're supposed to.
Do I just go to the next one?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what, maybe you passed it all. so-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We didn't do any extra work for you.
Thank
Good
you very
night.
much.
Have a good night, everyone.
Very nice.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Okay, minutes and reports from municipal committee and boards, planning advisory.
There's 3 motions here.
Moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor McGuinness. Whereas the Planning Advisory Committee recommended to council that consent application B3 2023 Chadburn, Dennis and Leanne for the creation of 2 new lots be deferred at the request of the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority pending a site inspection. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. Any questions? All in favor? Moved by Councillor McGuinness, seconded by Councillor Featherstone. Whereas the Planning Advisory Committee recommended to council to accept the 2023 Planning Advisory Committee budget as submitted, and that it be referred to the General Government and Finance Committee, be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. Any questions, any comments? All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McGuinness. Whereas the Planning Advisory Committee recommended to council that Neri Paquette and the Manager of Planning and Development attend the 2023 OACA Conference in Niagara Falls, June 4th to the 7th, and all expenses be paid. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation. Any questions?
Yeah, if I could, I believe there was also conversation about a potential staff member if there was a space left over that might attend. I don't know if we need to include that in the resolution or if they're just as an option.
We haven't had that discussion yet.
Okay, so are we closing the book by having this resolution not include that?
Registration stays open for another several weeks, I think, unless it books up, but
And we don't necessarily have to come back to council to pass another resolution for one more spot, or should we give the option tonight? And then if it's exercised, it's exercised, right? It'll be up to you if staff is attending, but.
Yeah, fix it. Jim.
I'm just going to say in addition to, I'm going to
Yeah.
do your addition. In addition to one other staff as approved by the CAO. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
And then, what is this one? That's recreation. The fire department, you had a meeting. Do you have any comments or?
No, we're just starting to work together with Mr. Reed a little bit more as well, and he's new into the committee. We have another meeting next week, I believe.
Okay. All right. This is Recreation and Fitness Committee. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, seconded by Councillor Featherstone. Whereas the Recreation and Fitness Committee recommends to Council that up to 4 additional meeting dates be approved for the annual review of the municipal alcohol policy, be it hereby resolved that Council approves of this recommendation. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McGinnis. Whereas the Recreation and Fitness Committee will be hosting a trade show on October 14th, 2023 at the Bonfield Community Center. And whereas the Recreation and Fitness Committee recommended to Council to approve the attached trade show advertising and register form, be it hereby resolved that Council approves of this recommendation. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. I'm very happy to see such a busy recreation committee. I
Great.
can't keep up with them. There's something going on all the time. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, seconded by Councillor Featherstone. Whereas Council approves the summer programs of 2023 for soccer and ball hockey, and whereas Leanne McKenzie has agreed to once again coach and organize the programs on behalf of the Township of Bonfield. Now therefore, Council agrees that these summer programs and the volunteer coordinator, Leanne McKenzie, should be insured under the 2023 Municipal Insurance Program. All in favor? Carried. Library, you had a meeting?
We did. We, again, were reviewing our policies, making sure that they were current. And that was it. It was a good meeting.
Thank you. No general government, no police services, no emergency management. Here we are, Public Works with three motions. Can't keep up with all of this here. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McGinnis. Whereas the Public Works Committee has reviewed the Public Works operational budget for 2023. Therefore, the Public Works Committee recommends to Council that it be referred to general government for further consideration. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, seconded by Councillor Featherstone. Whereas the Public Works Committee has reviewed the Environmental Services operational budget for 2023. Therefore, the Public Works Committee recommends to council that it be referred to general government for further consideration. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, seconded by Councillor McGuinness. Whereas the Public Works Committee recommends to council to purchase recycling bins and add the township logo to sell at cost to residents, be it hereby resolved the council approves of this recommendation. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So we got the price for one at 100. And so if we could request at 200, the price, just to see what the economy of scale discount would be for 200 and then perhaps 300, and then maybe do a cost comparison to what the price is at Home Depot or Canadian Tire or where else. So we can understand the cost benefit analysis there. And I know personally, I'm holding off because I want to purchase from the town. So, and I'd be looking at buying 3 myself so that I can split my recycling up, right? So if we could maybe do some analysis on the costing.
You're saying on the cost for
Yes.
100, 200?
Exactly. Like I think I don't know if the motion says how many we're buying, but if we could just get a little bit more information.
We didn't say how many.
Okay.
I can
Um,
provide that for the next council meeting.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Does that give us the option of purchasing more if it's less to
Yes.
purchase more?
Yes,
But will we get the pricing? That's,
I'll provide it by the next meeting. and then
Yeah,
you
if
can
we
make-
could.
Are we able to defer this? Are we able to defer this motion until we get that additional information?
Do we need to defer though? Because this is just saying that we're gonna buy, right? So I think we do intend to buy, do we not?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I
me
just don't
too.
know
We
if
just
it's,
don't know
are
how
we-
many yet.
will we be passing a redundant motion next time instead of just,
Doing it now?
Yeah,
well, I'm just thinking next, if we deferred this and we just amended it next time to add in once we had the cost
Okay,
analysis,
okay.
then it's one motion instead of 2 sitting on the books, right?
Sounds good to me.
so you want.
I would recommend it to defer, but it's defer it.
Yeah. and then
Wanna
we can-
defer it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
once we get more. info.
Okay, so I don't do anything with it, right?
There should
Or
be a
that-
line for deferred and then you sign for
That
deferred.
motion be,
Deferred.
Um,
Under carried loss, there should be.
There is no
deferred.
deferred, but
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Just write
put,
deferred.
Mhm.
this motion is deferred. Okay, I put this motion is deferred to determine the cost.
next.
Okay, reports from non-municipal committees and boards. Nothing from Phenom. Do you have anything from the Conservation Authority?
No, we attached the 2 meeting agendas, minutes from February 22nd and March 8th. And we have another meeting in 2 more weeks.
Okay. What about the seniors housing?
We have a meeting coming up next week.
Okay, thank you. No notice of motion? No. And now introduction and consideration of bylaws. I'm trying to shuffle this here. Sorry. Moved by Councillor McGinnis, seconded by Councillor Featherstone. Whereas council deems it necessary and expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw at this session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to appoint Nicole Kunkel as clerk and treasurer for the Township of Bonneville be read a first, second, and third time, passed and numbered 2023-14, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book. All in favor? Carried.
Congratulations. and
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
We're
Oh,
excited
it's
to have
Very
you.
official.
happy to be
We're
here.
excited.
Oh, one more, right?
Don't lose that one.
I lost my agenda now by flipping that all over. Here it is. The next one, another. Moved by Councillor Featherstone, second by Councillor McGuinness. Whereas council deems it necessary and expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw. At this session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to stop up, close, and sell parts of the original Shore Road allowance in front of Lot 3, Concession 6, being Part 1, 36R 14913, Township of Bonfield, District of Nipissing, and stop up and close part of the original Shore Road allowance in front of Lot 3, Concession 6, being Part 1, 36R 7831, Township of Bonfield, District of Nipissing, be read a first, second, and third time, passed in number 2023-15, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book. All in favor? Carried. I think I don't sign that. I think there's more signatures here for you to sign. I'll let you look at it. I won't
Okay.
sign it everywhere. Disbursements. That's next. Moved by Councillor McGuinness, seconded by Councillor Featherstone. That council approved the general accounts for the Township of Bonfield as indicated in the disbursement report dated April 11, 2023, in the amount of $183,101.52. All in favor? Carried. That's the long one. I saw it coming. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett. Whereas Enbridge recently made an announcement of their intention to begin charging third-party contractors and other utilities $200 Canadian plus applicable taxes for utility locates where a field locate is required. And whereas third-party contractors include Ontario municipalities, and whereas these local locate requests are only required as Ontario municipalities have allowed utilities to use municipal right-of-ways at no charge to the utilities. And whereas this announcement of new downloaded costs will negatively impact the budgets of Ontario municipalities, which are already burdened. And whereas if Enbridge is successful In implementing this new charge, a precedent is set for other utility companies to also begin charging for locates. Therefore, be it resolved that the Township of Bonnfield strongly opposes these utility locate costs being downloaded to Ontario municipalities by Enbridge Gas or other utilities, and that the province of Ontario's Ministry of Public and Business Service Delivery make it clear that these costs must be borne by the utilities themselves, and that this decision be forwarded to Minister of Public and Business Service Delivery, Khalid Rashid, Minister of Infrastructure, Kinga Serman, Minister of Energy, Todd Smith, Premier Doug Ford, Vic Fideli, MPP, Nipissing District, the Association of Ontario Road Supervisors, and the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett, that Sabrina Green be approved to attend the Ontario Association of Police Services Board 2023 OAPSB Spring Conference and AGM at the Marriott on the Falls in Niagara Falls, held May 30th to June 1st, and that all expenses be paid as set out by the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Bonnfield. Any questions or comments? Just to let you know that Sabrina is our secretary for everything that goes on with our police services board. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Corbett and seconded by Councillor Clark. Be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Bonnfield approve a 5-year annual financial commitment of $1,200 per year for the Mattawa Physician Recruitment Initiative, and further that the annual contribution will begin in 2023 until the final payment in 2027, payable in January of each year. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett. Council accepts and approves the attached FAQ sheet and direct staff to publish the FAQ sheet on all available platforms to the township, and that the staff proceed with enforcing all applicable zoning regulations with respect to recreational vehicles. Any comment?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, as it's mentioned in the report, this is a hot issue within the municipality. The language in the FAQ sheet is factual as it states right now. I also know we're going through our official plan, which we're hearing about, requested changes and or leniencies, or like I feel as though we are perhaps in very short order going to be taking a look in more detail at these two bylaws and seeing if there's any alterations to it that needs to happen. I would hate to just go further into the confusion that RVs have in our community by going really hard on this. And I'll give an example, and it's just an example. If somebody's building a home and they have an active permit and they're building a home, does council have an issue with a recreational vehicle being parked on that lot while the home is being built and somebody living it? Like, that's just one example of things that I think we want to.
Not explicit about that.
It says that there is no, yeah. So I'm concerned that we're going to put out this very accurate Q&A as it states right now with potential changes coming.
Can I just speak to the temporary construction piece?
Sure.
Our zoning bylaw does have a provision for a temporary construction camp that is permitted for the property owner to occupy during the construction of a dwelling. Not permanently, but during the construction, there are provisions for a temporary construction camp.
So I read the FAQs and I missed that, or is it not in there?
It's not specific to RVs. It's just a provision for a temporary construction camp, and the definition, I don't have the exact definition, but it's not a permanent dwelling or a permanent structure. It's defined as a temporary structure to be occupied during the construction of a dwelling.
Can it be an RV?
I would have to review the exact terminology in that provision from the zoning bylaw.
So I think maybe I'm going to speak for myself. I am hoping that we're going to be able to clean up this file and it's clear for everybody from council through to landowners to the RV owners that once we've kind of settled and make it clear and there's no more gray zone, or it's, we're enforcing on 10 lots, but ignoring the other 50 that are out there, like no more of that. And because that's not fair to staff, quite frankly. I don't think what's happened in the last 12 years has been fair to staff. So I'm just concerned that we're going to put the cart before the horse since we're so close with the official plan coming. I know it's been talked about in our public consultation, and I think council has an appetite to discuss it and try and get it right. So I don't know if it makes sense to further this conversation at our planning advisory committee meeting next, or I'm looking to see, perhaps through you, Chair, what is the purpose for this Q&A now, given that we're in the flux of reviewing the stance from the municipality standpoint?
So sorry, what's the purpose of this?
Of this now, given that, I mean, we've been talking about it and we've been pushing it off knowing that the OP is happening, right?
Yeah, so I put forward this report to council now as the question's been raised to me frequently about what are our regulations right now on RVs and, well, RVs. So this report was intended for information purposes to make everyone aware. These are the regulations that we've had in place since 2013. They are being enforced. They have been. The frequently asked question sheet, this was something that was actually posted in November of 2021. It was circulated on the website. I was hoping that we could circulate it again with the upcoming warmer weather, camping season coming in, to get the information out there again and the correct information that this is what we have in place.
Could we maybe just add something on the frequently asked question sheet that this is going to come back through council, and that now's the time and now's the opportunity for the community to kind of make their opinions known so that we would have more information as well?
Yeah, and I actually think it is a good refresher for people to know how it stands now, because when we are discussing it, they will know what the current state is. And then if we're making changes, then it's very clear what the changes will be.
So if I can just add in, I think, yes, the part that concerns me is we are instructing staff or asking staff to, is the enforcement part. And well, I understand you say it's being enforced now. The instructions from council, my understanding and from past councils to staff have been not to enforce on every lot. Like we started with 10, I believe, out of however many's there. So this would open up the gates to the other 50. I'm just saying, if we're this close to changing it, to have our bylaw officer out enforcing this full force, if council is going to be considering this within a very short period of time, I don't know that that's fair to anybody in this situation, to be honest, including our bylaw officer. I agree. I mean,
Yeah, I do too. I think it's good information for people to know. It's the where we are now, but
we have the official plan that we're.
yeah. And if I think that there's probably going to be a lot of debate and possibly some changes, right? So
You wanted to change that?
Well, I think we could maybe alter it with Jason's
Fix it, Jason.
point there.
Pardon?
If I may,
Yeah,
just to add
sorry.
to the report. In discussing the report and the history on it, I mean, this was brought forward to inform council, to inform the public, and all of the residents and even new property owners to make sure everyone's on the same page on what the rules are. There, as you know, it's been enforced. There are some enforcement measures that have been before the courts and they still remain before the courts. So if you don't like that, if we don't enforce, then we would just be dismissing those court cases that we do have open, or you could take the opportunity to enforce and try to work on voluntary compliance. And obviously there's not going to be 100% voluntarily compliance, but you're likely a year or two away from having an official plan that's going to be adopted by council and the ministry that will allow you to create something. But going back to a planning committee and working on what those measures might be for amendments to a bylaw, because it will still take a while.
Right, so like it or not, this is what we have, right? This is what we have, and but we can put that caveat in that it's under review. But these are the rules right now. This is what you have to abide by right now, but we are reviewing, so.
Yes, I would say, I think my concern actually comes from the timing when this is being presented to council for consideration. When we know it's been a topic of discussion that this is something that is very passionate within the community, it's now positioning council to have to say, yes, go out and enforce it. But we've never said, don't enforce it. But now it's almost like we're doubling down when in fact, like it's the timing that I'm concerned with here, given all the background that's happening. So I'm not saying don't enforce our current bylaws, because I want our bylaws to be enforced equitably across. It's that timing piece for me that feels odd from a council perspective, I would say. So.
Mayor Paquette?
Yes, I know that it has been an issue for a considerable amount of time. And at this point, maybe, especially when the official plan is being amended, is there something in the bylaws that can change? And I know we're not going to please everybody, but it seems at this time going this strong, then we're not only putting council in a position, we've also put staff in a position to enforce everything. And will there be any amendments to the official plan with respect to this? And what Councillor Corbett says about, especially with the building, if somebody is trying to build a home and you really have to be on the property to take care of your materials and everything. I had a lady speak to me today that said when they put up their home, they built a little shop to put all their tools and their wood and everything in it, and then they went home and came back and everything was missing. So I think that I know what it says about the trailers, but what's going to happen to the people that have no contact with their building when they go home at night, wherever they're living? So it is a concern of mine that it maybe at this time that we do defer this to at least that we've gotten a little bit further in the official plan. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. And can I just ask why we're having to pass resolutions where we're actually asking staff to proceed with enforcing a bylaw? I mean, isn't that the standard? Because there's a quiet side of this, that's saying, staff don't have to enforce all the bylaws that council passed unless we actually pass another resolution to say enforce the bylaws. I'm not understanding the redundancy of that, I guess is. Which just adds to the timing of it, which adds to the complexity of where we're at right now.
Just in staff's defense too, like Sabrina was mentioning, like this is a time of year that people are gonna be calling and asking questions about their neighbors and about trailers and,
Absolutely.
they're in that position that they need to be accountable as well. Putting out an information package like they're trying to do would take some of those questions and some of those barriers away.
And let me just say, I don't disagree. And I will say staff have been put in a terrible position on this due to how past councils or leaders' decisions and how to deal with this. And I would never sit here and say you should turn a blind eye to certain, that's not my intention. I'm not asking to turn a blind eye. I'm just saying if we're gonna actually go out and start aggressively enforcing this where we've had to turn a blind eye for, you've been forced to turn a blind eye or only enforced 10 of these in the past. It's not giving.
How do we just pick 10? There's
Six
violations
something.
everywhere.
Right.
So
Perhaps you could change the word from enforcement to promote the rules.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah.
One word.
So where were you 10 minutes ago?
Yeah.
We had to brainstorm it.
Yeah.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Clark, seconded by Councillor Corbett. Councillor accepts and approves the attached FAQ sheet and directs staff to publish the FAQ sheet on all available platforms to the township, and that staff proceed with promoting all applicable zoning regulations with respect to recreational vehicles. All in favor? Carry. Okay, the next one is Pepno Cameron motion of support for food insecurities. Was there a motion or did we want to refer that to our next council?
Did we not already deal with something like this before? It's just supporting the increase because of food security for social. So is this just another municipality? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, which we did support. So
Okay.
so we can bring them. It's okay. We can bring a motion forward. Right?
Okay. The next one is the MAD message and advertising, and I guess they're looking for, sorry,
Yes.
a business card?
Don is jumping the gun.
Of course. So if we could not do these things until we get our donations policy in place, and then at least we have a structure, because these things just keep coming to us sort of ad hoc. It's no one's fault. It's just the way it's been. But if there was criteria and staff vetted before because some of them would never get here, right? So, and I know that other municipalities, and I'm not sure what your old municipality did with this, they have, regulations like if this organization endorses it, then we will endorse it type thing, so there's criteria. And because it seems very ad hoc. Again, no fault of anyone's, it's just how they come in and what we've done. But if we could just structure it a little, it'd be a little more open and transparent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next we have the in-camera message. A motion to move in camera.
You can turn it now, moving.
Good night, Lisa.
I need to say
Bye,
what it
Lisa.
is.
Let her read it, and
Okay.
then I can say it.
Okay. She's got,
Do you want to read the resolution and then we can say,
Pardon?
do you want to read the resolution and then we can say goodnight?
Just read the resolution here,
Then we can stop the
and then we
recording.
can stop the
Yeah.
recording.
but I don't know what time it is.
Oh,
7:51.
Moved by Counselor Corbett, seconded by Counselor Clark, that the meeting of council hereby proceeds to close session in accordance with section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended at 7:51 PM for the purpose of discussing matters pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. All in favor? Carried.